What's good, y'all? This is your boy Joe Cliff, and what I'm gonna need for y'all to do is to hit that like button, hit that share button, comment a little something, make sure you subscribe, and get these videos running. We gotta get these analytics up, we gotta get it running through the algorithms, and we gotta get it going. Make sure you tap in. Joe Cliff, outside looking in, all that good stuff. You already know the Joe Show. We rocking. Thank y'all. We up. Welcome. Hope everybody out there is healthy, happy, prosperous, and blessed. Hope everybody's doing what they have to do. I'm here right now because the music lover in me, my soul has been so rejoiced, so replenished. It's been so revived, rejuvenated, all the reason in the world. That's how my soul is feeling right now. So it's been crazy these past 2 weeks. We already know Drake and 21 Savage, they dropped last week. They dropped Her Loss, probably the biggest album of the year, the biggest hip hop and rap album of the year. Let me not say the biggest album, but because we already know what Bad Bunny and Taylor Swift has been doing. But Drake, 21, they came out and sold 411,000 their first week. See, this is the crazy part because I'm kind of old. I'm 30 years old. So I remember at a time where 400K your first week was considered really a flop. You literally had to go gold or a little bit over gold, you know what I'm saying, to be considered a premier artist. But in this digital streaming age, 411K the first week as far as a hip hop rap act is kind of unheard of. We see Taylor Swift, who's in her third or fourth week, she did 300K this week again. So it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to them guys. And that right there, you know what I'm saying, that was the beginning. I love when Drake gets into that bag, the braggadocious, the really rapping, the talking what I want to talk, getting a little vulnerable, saying what I want to say, getting things off my chest. I love that Drake. That's my favorite type of Drake. Of course, the R&B Drake is fire too. But when he gets into that type of rap and that album, you know what I'm saying, it's a turn album. It's I have two beautiful sides to me, you know what I'm saying? It's the ignorant hip-hop trap side, you know what I'm saying, where I listen to 21 Savage, I listen to Chief Keef, Dirk, you know what I'm saying, people like that, No Cap, them type of guys. And then I have that backpacker, I love hip hop side to me, where I listen to, you know what I'm saying, the Kendricks, the Coles, the Joey Badasses, the guys like that. And these 2 weeks has literally been the yin and the yang to my soul. So after Her Loss, you know what I'm saying, coming out, dominating, doing what I had to do last week, we get, I don't know, honestly, I haven't really been paying attention like that, so I don't know if it was more of a surprise drop or what it was, but Nas and Hit Boy dropped KD3, King's Disease 3. Standing ovation, bro. Listen. I tweeted something and I'm really gonna stand on it because I mean it and I really feel that way. I said at this point, for me only, it's Nas over Jay-Z on my top 10 list. Seriously. And we're gonna break it down, we're gonna talk about it. But let's talk about the album KD3, King's Disease 3. First and foremost, Nas has been on an unprecedented run. It's been crazy what he's been doing these past, let me see. I would say, yeah, I would give it 5 years. I would give it 5 years. Well, 4 years, these past 4 years. Because it really started for me, honestly. And that album, it didn't get to just do it did because of, I guess, the Kanye, you know what I'm saying, the ties Kanye had to it, how it sounded. I guess it was kind of rushed. It was a part of that 7 album package thing that Kanye was putting out, you know what I'm saying, with certain artists. And Nas hooked up with Kanye and he dropped the Nasir album. And to me, honestly, that album was fire. It had some standouts on it. It had some good tracks on it. And that's where you kind of listen. You're listening and you're hearing and you're trying and you're starting to see where Nas is going creatively, because at this point he's pretty much he owns his own masters. He's under his own label, Mass Appeal, and he's able to move and do the things he wants to do. And you start to see that with the Nasir album. And then 2 years goes by and they just drop a bomb on us with King's Disease 1. Him and Hit Boy, probably one of the best duos in hip hop in a long time as far as producer and artist goes. Of course, you have Drake and 40, who really miss, you know what I'm saying, people like that. But to just come out of nowhere, like, who would have ever thought that that Nas would tag up with Hit Boy, you know what I'm saying, at this point in his career, honestly, too. So it's kind of crazy. But they dropped King's Disease 1. King's Disease 1 is almost 3 years old. It's going to be 3 next year, so I'm considering that a classic. That was the first one, classic, bro. Classic. You had summer 92, I believe. You had car 95. I forgot the name of them joints, but that album was crazy. You have Hit Boy, whose production, bro. Hit Boy's production and what he's able to tap into when he when he links up with these artists, and he's able to actually give them what they want while being able to stay true to his West Coast roots and his sounds, while also keeping it new and sounding crisp. Like, it's kind of crazy, and you get that within these collab albums that they have. So KD1 drops in 2020, and that's considered a classic. And then he comes right back 21 with KD2. KD2, they start arguing like, bro, maybe this is like better than KD1, and he has it goes on and on with Nas and Hit Boy, bro, because not only that year 21 did he drop KD2, he ended up dropping Magic too, which is probably my favorite album out of all of them so far. KD3's up there, but it's only been a couple days. But Magic, we're talking about Meet Joe Dirt, you know what I'm saying? Them songs on Magic, bro, is just different. And I think that's why he named it a different thing than KD3, because Magic was like, oh my gosh. And then even at the end of Magic, he was like, oh, KD3 on the way too. So I'm like, bro, what are we doing? What are we talking about right now? This is totally different for Nas, because Nas has periods where he'll take 2 years off, 3 years off. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. So between Life is Good and Nasir, that 2018 album Nasir, when he really started to change how he attacked his artistry and how he built on his craft or whatever. That was a good 6 years, because Life is Good, that was the song with Daughters, that was the leading single on that album, Daughters, and stuff like that. So Life is Good came out in 2012, so we're talking about a 6 year, you know what I'm saying? And of course he was trying to get his business in order. In between that, he ended up getting a Hennessy deal and all types of things that was going on in between that 6 years. But that was a decent and a good chunk of time. And even before that, he had the Distant Relatives collab with Damian Marley, and that came out in 2010. Before that, it was the Nas album that came out in 2008. So Nas, typically, he takes time off and periods off in between his work. So from 2018 to right now, 2022, he has 5 albums. 5 albums, and honestly 4 of them albums could be considered classics. KD1 to KD3 is a run that we haven't seen in a while when it comes to albums, and that's why me right now, that's probably why I am saying Nas over Jay-Z, because we see Hov, we understand Hov, we understand his impact, his discography, everything that he continues to do. Even when he pops up and gives these guys these verses Meek Mill was free, DJ Khaled, you know what I'm saying? God did things like that, you know what I'm saying? We understand, and the impact is always grand, you know what I'm saying? But what Nas is doing is really being slept on, bro. From Nasir to KD3 to have that type of level of rapping and continue to elevate each project is really crazy, especially at the age that he's at. Nas is 50 years old, so you know what I'm saying? So it gets a little crazy. But like I said, Magic came out 21, and then we get KD3 this Friday. 11/11, we got KD3. Man. First and foremost, big shouts out to Hit Boy. I want to talk a little bit about Hit Boy because Hit Boy, man, he's doing things that's pretty. He's another one that's doing stuff that's like kind of nutty, bro. Like he'll work with, you know what I'm saying? He'll go and drop an album with a Benny the Butcher and a Nas and people of that ilk and cloth, and then he'll go do an album with like a Dreezy and a Big Sean, people who kind of rap in a different type of, you know what I'm saying, format and stuff like that. Like it's kind of crazy what he's able to do and the different pockets that he's able to tap into, and you see that all throughout this album. And that's probably why this is one of my favorite albums as far as the Nas catalog, because of the production and what Hit Boy is able to do. Like some of my standouts or my favorites on the KD3 album, like legit. Like, bro, he sampled the 5 Heartbeats, you know what I'm saying? And he literally turned that into something that's like, yo, that sample right there hit. What was you doing that day, bro? What was you doing? Who came up with that idea? I bet you they was in the studio, you know, smoking on something, watching the 5 Heartbeats movie. Nas was like, yo, done. That one right there. Hey. You know what I'm saying? It had to be something like that, because to even, like, bro, I don't think nobody in hip-hop has touched, like, you know what I'm saying, the 5 Heartbeats or anything. And that's something that I thought about a long time ago, especially, like, you know what I'm saying, the other joint with him and his sister in the bedroom. Like, bro, that movie's such a classic. But legit, that's one of my favorite joints on there. Done. When he gets to talking, he had the line, the Jay-Z line, talking about takeover and how, you know what I'm saying, he was just kidding, saying how he be texting Hov sometimes saying like, yo, this ain't over. The Done, you know what I'm saying, reminisce. And this is where I say, like, Hit Boy is Hit Boy, and Hit Boy is able to do some of the things that he's able to do. Because Reminisce is probably one of my favorite tracks on there. And that's because it has so many different sounds and wavelengths and just vibes on that one song. So it has like a boom bap, you know what I'm saying? Old school soul sample. Shouts out to Mary, that's Mary's joint. So it has like that sample, that boom bap, that loop, you know what I'm saying? It has that feel, that vibe to it. And then, like, dog, Nas is rapping at such a high level, the storytelling, him getting into, you know what I'm saying, him not really liking the Reminisce, but him touching on some subjects that mean so much to him. And then at the end, bro, he taps in, Hit Boy taps into his BK Bronx drill bag, and they kind of remixed the sample to be like, you know what I'm saying, all the stuff that's going on TikTok right now. Because if you pay attention to TikTok, that whole, I wouldn't say get light, but the get sturdy and all that type of stuff, that wave is hard right now. So he actually takes that Mary J sample and he goes into like a Brooklyn drill type vibe. And it's crazy. Nas gives us a little 20-30 seconds of that. That would have been more interesting to see what different pockets he would have tapped into on that joint. But Reminisce, definitely, probably, that is my favorite song on there, like, honestly, as far as just vibes and what Hit Boy was able to do. But you got Reminisce, you have the Serious Interlude, you got WTF, SMH, you have Once a Man, Twice a Child, you have Get Light. Get Light is another one of my favorite joints on there. And Get Light's another one of my favorite joints because, again, what Hit Boy is able to do, you have that jazz, you have that classic Nas jazz sample feel, and then you have that oh 04 to like '08, that Getting Light, New York, Harlem, you know what I'm saying? No music, get sturdy type vibe into it. It's total, like, bro, the sounds that Hit Boy is able to tap into and bring and draw together is so crazy on this album. And that's probably why this album will be this album might get a Grammy, bro. Like, seriously, musically, this album is probably one of the top albums in a long time. Like, seriously, you got songs like Michael&Quincy that actually tap into what Hit Boy and Nas is doing right now with this type of music, bro, and it's kind of crazy. So big shouts out to Nas and Hit Boy. This KD3 album is something crazy. And that's why I say, like, at this point, bro, how do you not, like, as far as discography and what they're still doing and being active and culture shaking and things like that, how do you not, like, put Nas over Jay-Z at this point? Like, think about it. Like, I got a list of both of their discographies. So Nas, this is Nas. This is just Nas. Illmatic 94, it was written 96. Nostradamus and I Am came out in 99. Stillmatic came out in 01. Godson came out in 02. Street Disciple came out in 04. Hip Hop is Dead came out in 06. Nas the Album came out in 08. Distant Relatives, the collab album with Damian Marley or whatever, that came out in 2010. Life is Good came out in 2012, and then we get into the run from 2018 to right now. So we have Nasir 2018, KD1 2020, KD2 2021, Magic 2021, and the KD3 this year 2022. And then we go into Jay-Z's discography, which is kind of extensive because Hov doesn't really take breaks. And I'm going to break down where the difference became, or where the difference lies, or where people started to give them, you know what I'm saying, give Jay-Z that over Nas. So 96, you got his debut, Reasonable Doubt, classic album. Volume 1, Fire. 97, Volume 2, 98, Volume 3, 99, the Dynasty album, the Blueprint album. See, and this is where, from like 98 to like 02, 03 is where the distance lies. Because if you really pay attention, Nas, like I said, Nas has these intermissions and stuff in between his albums. So from Nostradamus and I Am, that came out in 99, to Hip Hop is Dead, that came out in 2006. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums. Jay-Z has, from Volume 2, who came out around the same time as Nostradamus and I Am, like the end of 98, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but Volume 2 from 98 to, and then we'll go to 2006. You know what I'm saying? We'll go from 2006. So from Volume 2, we have Volume 2, we have Volume 3, we have the Dynasty, we have Blueprint, we have the Best of Both Worlds collab with R. Kelly, Blueprint 2, we got the Blueprint 2.1, we have the Black Album, and we have Kingdom Come. Like, that's where the difference was, that's where the separation lies. So we're talking about, let me see, Volume 2, that's a classic to me. Dynasty, classic album. Blueprint, classic album. Best of Both Worlds, fire album. The Black Album, 5. Kingdom Come was okay. Kingdom Come. So we're talking about five potential classic albums where you have Nas with Nostradamus, I Am, to Hip Hop is Dead, but probably only 2 or 3, you know what I'm saying, certified or could be debated classic albums with Stillmatic, Godson, you know what I'm saying, things like that. So that's where the difference lies, the output. So Jay-Z, he was mashing foot on the gas, and from like 97 to like 06, where you have Nas from 96 to 06, has such, like, you know what I'm saying, his discography is so shortened and it's so tight. But then, you know what I'm saying, from 07 to, I'll say, about now. Let's go from like '07 to about now. You have American Gangster, classic album. This is Jay-Z's American Gangster classic album. Blueprint 3. I didn't really like Blueprint 3. The Watch the Throne album, classic album. You have Magna Carta. That was a good album. I wouldn't consider that a classic album. You have like a couple compilations in between, but his albums, you have 444 in 2017, and that was Jay-Z's last like studio album. 444 is a classic album. But now you get into Nas, where on the other side he starts to pick up. So from 2006, we're gonna go from 2006 because that was Nas's last or whatever. So you have, well, 2008, you have Nas the album. You have Distant Relatives, the collab. You know what I'm saying? You have Life is Good. You have Nasir, and then, you know what I'm saying? From there, we already know what happens from there. So how do you not, as the time goes, Nas continues to elevate, his output continues to get, you know what I'm saying? He continues to put out faster, and it's not even like he's putting out to, like, you know what I'm saying, just throw things out there. He's putting out bodies of work. It's not like, yo, I'm gonna put out this single, see what people do, I'm gonna drop a verse here and there. No, when we hear Nas these past couple years, it is classic bodies of work. So how we are not saying that Nas has not surpassed Jay-Z on the top 10 list right now? God did that, you know what I'm saying? That 8-minute verse, fire. But bro, just listen to that. From 2006 to now, Jay-Z has Kingdom Come, American Gangster, Blueprint 3, Watch the Throne, Magna Carta, and 444. You know what I'm saying? From 2006 to now, you know what I'm saying? Nas has Nas the album, Distant Relatives, Life is Good, Nasir, KD1, KD2, Magic, KD3. Just them last 5 albums, bro. Like, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging. Y'all let me know if I'm bugging, but that's just how I'm looking at it, man. KD3, definitely album of the year. Well, one of the albums. Let me not jump the gun, because, you know, people like to keep you at your word or whatever and all that madness, all that. But KD3 is definitely one of the albums of the year. And I'm gonna do a top 5 album of the year video too. I'm gonna probably do that today too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that today too, because bro, we gotta talk about it. I gotta go through this year because we have like Kendrick, which kind of came and went, honestly. The Kendrick album kind of came and went, but we do have Kendrick. We have Dreamville dropped a hard compilation with DJ Drama. That kind of went under the radar too, but that joint is fire. And J. Cole had a joint, I forgot which Drake joint he remixed, but he had a joint that he was going crazy on. That joint was fire. But for me, it would probably be Kendrick. It'll be Freddie Gibbs. That Freddie Gibbs album. So Separately, bro. I can't keep that out of rotation. Like, that Freddie Gibbs album is something serious. The West Side Gun 10 album, something serious. It's a lot of these albums that just recently came out, honestly. Them albums, like a lot of the albums throughout the year, you could hear like the sound. They was trying to catch a wave. They was trying to stick to one sound and things like that. But as the end of the year progressed, we had these people and they're dropping different type of things, different sounds, different bags. Nobody's copying nobody. You can't say that the Freddie Gibbs album sounds like the West Side Gun album, or the West Side Gun album sounds like the Drake album, or the Drake album sounds like the Nas album. You know what I'm saying? All these albums that I'm talking about, they hold their own weight and their own merit, and they have their own sound, they have their own like vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at these albums. Like, they stand out by themselves. There's not like one thing on it you could say, yo, this is that, that's this is that. Like, these albums are totally different albums, and they sonically give me, you know what I'm saying? They sonically give me something. Like, pause, that might have sounded crazy, but That was nuts. Yeah, that was nuts. That was crazy. But yeah, man, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do that album on the year list too, because that's kind of crazy. This last, I would say this last 2 months has been wild as far as drops and releases and things like that. We need to talk about the two Rihanna singles that are doing absolutely nothing right now. Like, there's a lot of music talk we need to talk about. Rihanna's supposed to be headlining the Super Bowl. She hasn't had an album since 2017. She's dropped a couple singles, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. She's just got 2 songs. The Black Panther album just dropped Friday too. Shout out to Thames and Burna Boy with 2 of the best songs on that album. But the Black Panther album just dropped too, and Rihanna has 2 joints on there. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. But back to Nas and Hov, bro. This Nas and Hov discussion is something that we need to have more in depth as far as discography and everything. Because if you look at the list, like, yeah, Hov does have more. He has more content. He has more quantity. But does he really have more quality? Like, honestly, if you compare these 2 albums, these 2 discographies, does Hov really have more quality than Nas? I don't know, bro. I don't know, especially at this point, what Nas is doing. Nas is catching up, and people's just, like, overlooking it. They're not even paying no attention to it, bro. Or maybe I'm just a super Nas fan and I'm overlooking it. I don't know. Could be either one. But let me know what you guys think. I want to know what y'all think of this album, this KD3 album. I want to know what was y'all standout tracks and all that. Please, 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 please. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is your boy, Joe Cliff. You already know how I'm coming. Nas over Jay-Z. That's the end of it. Well, for right now, because you already know I'm a super Hov fan too, so I'm just talking my shit. But with this KD3 album release, Hit Boy and Nas are some of the greatest walking talents alive and breathing right now. It's your boy Joe Cliff. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, holla at me. We working.